Hey guys, this is Jessica Gutierrez with Clean With Me podcast. This is a podcast where I walk you through cleaning your house step by step. So let's clean together. Hey everybody, so I know we're a day late, but we're not $1 short. We have Raani Starnes here. I'm in Hobbs, New Mexico. It's good to have you here, Raani, creator of the show.
Thanks for having me on the show, Jessica. It's good to be back on Clean With Me, even if it's just for a guest appearance. By the way, it's time to gear up for our cleaning session. Maybe do whatever it takes to get yourself feeling presentable, put your hair in a ponytail, put on some comfortable clothing, or maybe you just need to get your house smelling fresh. Take out the trash, maybe start a wax warmer or light a scented candle.
And if you have small children, throw your kids on an activity. Give them an iPad, give them a chore, give them something to do. That's what I have to do.
Okay, another thing you might want to do, of course, is start a load of laundry. And for those of you who start a load of laundry at the beginning of the show, we'll try to remind you near the end of the show to switch that load from the washing machine into the dryer. While you're doing whatever you need to do to gear up for your cleaning session or starting your laundry or whatever, I'll give you a quick update on what I've been up to. I decided to finish college, which I'm doing online. I'm taking a full load in the summer, which is absolutely insane, but I'm doing it. And also, I am going to be teaching second grade next year this year, I should say, in a private school when school starts. So it's a really ideal job for me because my kids are going to be going to the same school. I'm going to be there when they're at school, and then I'll be home with them afterwards. So in my mind, it's kind of the best of both worlds for me anyway, between being a stay-at-home mom or a working mom. I'm doing both, and I'm pretty excited about this new season of life. My husband is off work. He had a major surgery, and he's been off work for a super long time. So it's kind of time to do me as far as starting a career at this late juncture in life. But I'm excited about all that. By the way, keep gearing up for that cleaning session. In a minute, I'm going to turn it over to Jessica and we'll head to the kitchen. But before we do that, just wanted to say Jessica has been doing an amazing job with the show. I feel like toward the end there, I was running out of things to say, or maybe just not even talking about cleaning that much. And part of that is just that I'm in a different season in life. The older my kids get, the more I'm able to delegate, especially because right now it's summertime. I kind of just give each crew member a chore to do, and we knock out our housework together early in the day. So that's kind of what I've been doing instead of my typical 1 hour session. We're just kind of knocking it out quickly as a team. But Jessica is still in the trenches, so she was the perfect person to take over the show. Plus, I just had too many things going on. So I'm going to let Jessica talk about the kitchen today and later on.
Might I just add that I'm loving having the extra helpers around here. I'm not in the trenches while I'm staying at my mom's house because I've got a bunch of foot soldiers running around getting diapers for me and stuff. But the reason I'm here is we're breeding the dogs. It also corresponded with my Colorado family trip, and they live closer, so it kind of like cut my time in half, my drive time. And also, I was due for a visit because they don't get around to Fort Worth as often anymore. So I've been trying to come out here a little bit more often. But let's get right into it. Let's start the kitchen. Go ahead and start unloading your dishwasher. Getting everything out of the way to put those clean dishes in there. She does have a dishwasher here. I do not. So either your drying rack or your dishwasher.
I already started my dishwasher early this morning. It's not that I'm not doing my usual chores. It's just that I'm not doing them as much alone as I was when I was kind of in the heyday of being the host of this show. But one of the things that's non-negotiable is just running the dishwasher at least once a day and sometimes twice. That's one of the keys to keeping your kitchen under control if you have a dishwasher.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The dishes are the main thing that I'd like to focus on no matter what. If I don't get anything else done in the day, I want to go to bed with at least no dishes in my sink is the goal. Obviously, that's not always attainable, but that's always the goal because that's the thing that's going to get funky really fast if you don't deal with it. But delegation in itself is hard to, figure out. And it's hard to figure out what kids are good at what, and it changes as they get older, so she's had to figure that out as well.
Definitely. And it wasn't that I may have phrased that a little differently than I wanted to earlier. It wasn't that I was doing it all myself, but the 1 hour cleaning session was mainly independent. And then my kids would have a chore list and stuff like that. But I've kind of upped their responsibility because of it being summer. They don't have schoolwork to do. I mean, there are a few summer reading and whatnot, but they mainly don't have schoolwork. So it's like, just knock this stuff out in the morning and then you can do what you want. So definitely if you have older kids, school-aged kids, I'll say, because obviously some of you have adult children, some of you have toddlers, but with school-aged kids, you definitely have to constantly reevaluate your systems, who does what. It's something that's just constantly evolving as far as the best system. Sometimes you can have one child in charge of a certain thing for a while, but then you need to rotate so that the same person isn't doing the same thing all the time. Be working on your dishes, of course, while I'm talking. But, for example, my kids went to a summer camp. Okay, I'm down to 3 kids living at home, a 14-year-old, 12-year-old, and 9-year-old. And I sent them all to the same summer camp. Normally, historically, I've only sent one kid to camp at a time. So I sent all 3 of them. And wow, our house stayed super clean while they were gone. I'll tell you that, when it was just my husband and me. When they got back from camp, they talked about the fact that they had to clean bathrooms, including toilets. And at first I was a little taken aback because I hadn't heard of that being done.
Sounds like a good camp. I want to send my kids there.
I hadn't really heard of that being done at a summer camp. It's not what I did at the camps I went to as a kid. It's not what my older kids experienced at camp. So at first, I'll admit, I kind of cringed. But a few days later, I decided to teach my 12-year-old daughter how to properly clean the bathroom, including the toilet, because they were more than willing to do it at that camp. So I figured they were ready.
And I don't know if your kids are like my siblings, but if I tell my siblings that I'm going to give them $2 to find anything or do a chore, they are more than willing. It's a great motivator. So find whatever your kids are, motivate your kids, and try coming up with maybe some kind of reward system, especially if you have smaller kids, because it seems to work for my siblings very well. They love a reward system. It gets them excited about doing their chores, even the dishes, even picking up poop in the backyard. As long as there's a reward, their attitude changes 100%. And it doesn't have to be a big reward. It could be like at the end of the week or whatever it is.
Okay, another thing, and I realize this doesn't apply to everybody, but another thing about school-aged kids, I mentioned going back to college online, and I'm majoring in English education, so I'm taking a lot of education classes. One of the things that's emphasized is how kids are not exactly the same developmentally. I mean, obviously, if you're a parent of multiple children, you know this, but it just, it kind of reminded me of this since I'm reading about this stuff all day long. But maybe your 12-year-old isn't ready to start cleaning the bathrooms and cleaning toilets, or maybe you have a child who's even younger who is ready for that. So it definitely depends on the person. I'm not into, making my kids do all of the housework or whatever. I definitely believe in letting them have time to be kids. My kids have lots of free time. They play in the pool. They play with the neighbors outside, screen activities, of course. They do all the things. But you also don't want to underestimate their capabilities. And by the time a child leaves your house, okay, at age 18 or whenever, they should know how to do all the things, which includes cleaning toilets. So for sure, a teenager should know how to clean a bathroom from top to bottom. So that's my 2 cents there. Hopefully you're still plugging away on dishes.
And, the different, stages of older children, same thing applies with me with the different stages of younger children. Right now, I'm in kind of a difficult phase with my toddler, and it's kind of difficult for me to stay on task. If you heard my live, you would understand that they interrupt me a lot. And I know it was kind of all over the place, so I apologize for that one. But like how, they were asking me for food and snacks and I had to throw some stuff in the microwave in the middle of the show. That's really what it's like when I'm cleaning. And, that changes. Sometimes I have periods of time where it's really easy for me to clean and they keep each other occupied. And right now they're just kind of at a phase where my youngest just wants me all the time and then they're fighting a lot at this age because they're older, so it's kind of a more difficult cleaning phase, but we all go through different phases, different things.
Okay, so right now, hopefully, you're either washing your dishes by hand, maybe you have multiple sink loads, no judgment here if you're faced with a disaster, or maybe you're just working on an empty reload and run, as I like to call it. Typically, when I clean the kitchen, I empty, reload, run the dishwasher. Whatever didn't fit, I wash by hand. And I definitely recommend, I always say this to my kids because, I delegate, put all the small stuff in the dishwasher. And by small stuff, I mean plates, bowls, silverware, glasses. Those larger, awkwardly shaped items are the items that you're typically going to wash by hand. My teenage son kind of called us out the other day, like, I don't see why I have to wash this stuff when we have a dishwasher. Why don't we just wait till it finishes? And sometimes, yeah, you could do that. Like if all your kids were at school or something, you could do that. You could be like, okay, I'm going to come back in 2.5 hours and reboot my dishwasher with some pots and pans. This is assuming you have like residual dishes. Obviously the goal is to catch up or keep up. Easier to keep up than to catch up. But I don't want this episode to be all about kids. Let's talk to adult households for a moment, because some of you are single or you're just not in that stage of life or you just don't have kids. And I get that. This show is for you as well.
And she got a glimpse of that stage of life when they were at camp. So
exactly. I'm coming from a place of a person who was home alone with her husband for 5 days. So I experienced the lifestyle of an adult household. And of course, this could apply to someone who has an older teenager who happens to clean up after themselves.
Wow. Lucky.
Yeah, if that's a thing. But anyway, one of the things that I noticed and I found myself doing during that time is if my husband or I kind of cook something in the microwave, we have little frozen meals and things. We order from the Schwann's truck. I'm really big on those hamburgers right now. When we would microwave something on a plate or whatever, or maybe eat a bowl of ice cream, whatever we did, we would just go wash that dish by hand as soon as we used it. It is so easy, you guys. But when you've got kids kind of fixing their own food throughout the day or whatever, and you walk in to make a snack, it's not just that one dish that, it's not just that one dish you're going to wash. But in the adult lifestyle, it is. So I encourage you to, if you're caught up on dishes and you eat off of a plate or you dirty a bowl and a spoon and a glass, to just simply wash those quickly by hand. Obviously, the alternative would be if you're one of those people who loads the dishwasher throughout the day and then runs it at the end of the day. But I'm talking about when it's full of clean dishes or running and you dirty something.
Yeah, that's a lot more attainable if you live alone with your husband or with older kids or kids that maybe aren't in the house that often, or you live alone, because there's less dishes and it's just you and you're able to keep track of things more often. So it's definitely more attainable. If you don't clean as you go and you just can't, make yourself do that, I'm all about lists. Have at least 1 to 2 times per day that you do every day. You go check and you set aside time for dishes, whether that's before you go to work, when you get home for the day, before you go to bed. Make sure you're checking in with yourself consistently at the same times per day to do those dishes if you're not keeping up with it.
Definitely. It's something that you have to make yourself do. It definitely has to be daily. I guess the takeaway from my week in an adult household is that if it was a situation where the dishwasher was either running or full and I didn't feel like emptying it or whatever, it was easy to just clean those dishes off and just maintain. Like the house just stayed clean. If I saw one thing out of place, a popsicle wrapper on the coffee table, I grabbed it, threw it away. Obviously, the goal is for my kids to maintain the house in the same way, but sometimes that's just unrealistic because they, quote unquote, forget.
And if you have trouble motivating yourself to do that, if you're an adult household, do things that motivate you. Like for me, my motivator would be getting little things from Dollar Tree or just anywhere for my house. That motivates me to want to keep up with things. Like if I get a new rug or a new, decorations or whatever, cleaning supplies, whatever it is that motivates you. If you know that that's something that motivates you, get that. And that'll, for me, like if I get new pillows or something, I want my living room to look nice every day.
Finished result is a decorated home, in my opinion.
And like I said before, it doesn't always have to be, an expensive item. I'm talking, a new candle, a new, there's tons of, I always mention Dollar Tree because in Family Dollar, we have that here in Texas. I don't know if you guys, or I guess we're in Hobbs, but they have it here too.
Dollar General's another one.
They have little cubbies. Like, okay, I have these shelves, these new shelves in my home. And then they have these cloth cubbies. They're pop-out cubbies. They're only a couple dollars for, like $5 for a pack of 4. And they're like cloth, because the goal is to hide items as much as possible. Find a home for as many items as possible. And, those are perfect for sliding on a shelf or something and just hiding items. And those motivate me to be more organized because that's something I struggle with is organization. So, those are something that when I buy those, I don't want them just sitting on a shelf. So I know that's going to motivate me to organize some things in my home. And so that's something cheap that you can get to help with organization, little containers, whatever it is.
And Jessica, do you find that when you're storing more items out of sight instead of on your surfaces, that you end up wiping down the surfaces more often?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to keep things clean and to get to more surface area if you're not having to pick up 1,000 things or move them around.
Yes. For me, that's the most tedious aspect of cleaning is moving things around. I mean, cleaning the surfaces is a walk in the park once everything is in its proper place.
Yeah, and like I said, I always have my hot spots. Sometimes they move around to different spots, but I always have a couple places where they're kind of catch-alls. And like I said, the goal for me personally, since I struggle with organization, is finding enough containers and homes in a place where I don't have much storage and creating more storage space, which is why I have the shelves and the cloth containers now. So if you have storage space, then great. Find homes for things that, are just sitting out, or maybe have collected a permanent home on top of your fridge or something. You need to find appropriate homes for the things that are, catching on my kitchen table and whatnot.
But I mean, having a catch-all somewhere, I think, is a necessary evil. I think just the problem is when you have catch-alls in multiple areas of your home, especially very public areas.
Yeah, try to hide those catch-alls. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to get at.
Right. I mean, sometimes I beat myself up about the desk in my bedroom, but by putting things on that desk that I hardly ever sit at anyway, it's keeping the rest of my house tidy. It's not perfect. It's not the ideal. And at some point I have to go through and sort through that stuff. But I guess what my pet peeve is when someone's catch-all is just in a highly visible area or they're just multiple catch-alls.
Okay, so you should, if you're not done with dishes, that's fine. I'm going to start talking about wiping down. Sorry, I'm holding my baby. If you hear snorts and stuff, it's not me or my mom. Like I said, she's always on me. But start finding homes, like we were talking about organization. Get everything in your kitchen that doesn't belong there and put it in its home. Put it where it belongs. And get ready to start wiping down surfaces.
This is so random, but the other day, I realized there was a bottle of hydrogen peroxide on my kitchen counter for days. And you get used to seeing a certain item and kind of just cleaning up around it, lifting it up when you wipe down the counter. And it's like, wait, I'm going to put this somewhere. So it's something I was using to, on my dog. Okay. But I think we all have that, not all, but a lot of us have a tendency that we'll set something on a counter somewhere and just kind of get used to seeing it. And then it just kind of ruins the aesthetic in the kitchen.
Yeah, it seems like it's all of us because me and her both have that problem, but it might just be our family. I don't know. Let us know on Facebook if you guys have that same problem. But yeah, I'm the same way. I always have, items that end up, like I said, I do my painting and stuff a lot of times in my kitchen table, and a lot of times that'll just sit in my living room, and my husband will be like, are you going to put this paint stuff away? And I'll be like, oh yeah, I am done with my paintings. I don't know why that's been sitting here for 3 weeks, because my painting drawers find a home on the kitchen table, and it really doesn't look very pretty,
So hopefully you're wiping down your countertops, maybe your cabinet surfaces, the stovetop, the back of the stove.
Don't forget your microwave. If you need to soak your dish, your glass dish, or your bottom of your microwave, do that.
Yeah, mine actually fits into the dishwasher. That disc that goes in the bottom of my microwave, I can actually put that in the dishwasher. So just a thought there.
And she has an electric stovetop. I have a gas, so if you need to put a degreaser on your electric stovetop, if it's getting kind of funky, you go ahead and do that. If you have those cages on your gas stove and those need to be cleaned, you can throw those in the sink, spray them with degreaser, or you could just soak them in some hot soapy water. If those are getting bad, make sure you're cleaning out your refrigerator. Is there anything that needs to be thrown out? I do this during kitchen time because I have trouble keeping up with it and I won't think of it otherwise, so I try to do it while I'm doing the dishes and whatnot. Is there anything in your refrigerator that needs to be thrown out? Underneath appliances, toasters.
Some of you might be ahead of the game because we kind of went long during the dish segment. So maybe you're sweeping and mopping your kitchen floor. I don't think we always allow enough time on the show to sweep and mop, but not everybody needs to do that every single day. That's more a thing when you have toddlers that you've got to sweep and mop literally daily.
Yeah, I like to do that at the end of the episode. I do in my house because I have a smaller house. I do it all at once. And you might be like me and like doing that too. But after I wipe down my kitchen counters, I do have a lot of crummage and whatnot. So I like to just spot sweep after I wipe down. And then I do my major whole house floor clean at the end of the episode. So I'll remind you to do that. That's how I do my house. You may do it differently. Maybe you don't have as messy of a kitchen day today, so you were able to get to your floors. But I just at least do a spot sweep so I'm not taking those crumbs and, tracking them throughout the house.
Yeah. I feel like I like to listen to a podcast while I'm doing the tedious work of dishes, putting things away, picking up, and then for just those larger surface chores like sweeping and mopping the kitchen, I like to put on some music.
Yeah, and I know you guys, a lot of you have carpet too, so you might not want to listen to a podcast while you're vacuuming or something. So I'll remind you at the end of the episode.
I definitely don't like to do that. I know some of the listeners do that, but just for me, I don't like to have like earphones in while I'm vacuuming.
But speaking of vacuuming, I hope you guys, especially those of you with little ones, have gotten a hand vacuum by now. If not, highly recommend. It is worth the money. You can get one for cheap. I've been taking it in my car. I've been using it literally everywhere. We're going to move on to our living area. And if you have a hand vacuum, grab that thing, and we're going to clean out our couch cushions today.
Okay, by the way, some of you older ladies, I think we're called Gen X, or maybe you're an actual boomer. You probably know that item as a dust buster. When I was a kid,
I call it a hand vacuum.
My mom purchased a dust buster, and I think the reason she had it is I had younger siblings that were much younger than me, and it was for kind of vacuuming up their little crumbs. And then another good use of a dust buster or hand vac. I'm just kidding. Maybe yours is a different brand. I don't even know if dust busters are still a thing. Is that still a thing?
Familiar.
Anyway, we used to always take them camping too to clean out the camper.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I would love to have a wet vac, so you could just, get anything. Wet or dry, but what I have is more of a cheaper item just for crumbs and whatnot.
We have a shop vac.
Yeah,
I think that we originally purchased when somebody puked on the carpet.
Yeah, that's great to have for those kind of situations. But go ahead and get your focal points of your living area. If you're not done with your kitchen, that's okay. No judgment. I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the living area. So get those major focal points. Maybe you have a coffee table that needs to be cleared off or a couch that you need to fix the cushions on. Maybe you need to vacuum underneath those cushions. Even if you're just an adult household, but say you eat a lot on the couch while you're watching TV or something, make sure you check underneath your cushions. Maybe you just lost something in your maybe there might be something that has gone underneath your cushions. It's good to check every once in a while, for remotes, socks, whatever, what have you.
Yes, I concur that even adults do get things kind of lost in the cushions. My recliner is just notorious for eating my phone, the remote, whatever else.
Yeah, it's good to check every once in a blue moon. Also, if your couch is raised off the floor, my mother's is not. She actually has an ideal situation where it's flat on the ground, so nothing's getting up underneath the couch. I check underneath my couch, but maybe you have like a TV stand or a table that something might go under, so check under there. If any of those areas need to be cleaned out, now would be the time to do that.
Yeah, now, since you mentioned that, I purchased, and I mentioned this on the show, I think before I turned it over to Jessica as the new host, but I purchased a sectional. I ended up dissatisfied with my other sectional, and it got a rip in it. Long story. I got a refund for it. I took it back and got a refund. But I purchased a sectional from my next door neighbor, and it came with the wheels that you can put on it, or not the wheels. I'm saying wheels, but they're actually just little legs. It came with these little legs that are just a few inches, but I decided, you know what, I want it flush with the floor because it just makes me crazy pulling like random flip-flops out from under the couch. So if you do happen to have a couch with removable legs, you can take those off.
We used to have a couch. Our old couch actually was from IKEA. And before we had our small children, when it was just me and my husband, it was off of the floor, and we did actually remove the legs. It's funny you said that. We had an IKEA couch with the removable little short legs at the bottom, and we removed them after we had kids, but we have a different couch now that's raised, unfortunately, and you can't remove them. But, if you do, and if you're having that problem, you can always either, put something down there, maybe a couch cover or whatnot, or just take the legs off sometimes. Check your couch, see if it does that.
Or if you kind of feel like it throws your decor off balance, you could even lower some of the pictures on your walls, like when the couch gets lower. So if stuff like that kind of drives you nuts.
And if you don't have the couch problem, other things can, fall behind your couch. Maybe every once in a while you have a couch that's against the wall. Sometimes it's good to, move your furniture items if you can, if you're able to, or maybe you need help, and check behind there and see if there's anything, it's good to do some cleaning, especially while it's still summertime and before, everything gets real hectic. It's good to do some spring cleaning and make sure you're moving furniture around, making sure you're getting stuff from behind big items in your house.
Yeah, so hopefully you are working in your living areas, in any living room or family room. You want to, straighten your couch, straighten your throw pillows, pick up the floor, dust any surfaces that need dusting, right?
Yeah, if you have a fabric couch or a carpet floor and you see any spots, it's good to open your windows during this part. If you see any major spots, it's good to spot clean during this time. It's good to have some carpet cleaner, Resolve, something like that on hand, and just do a quick spot clean before you do your vacuuming or major floor clean of your couch or your floors. I always have spots on my couch, so I always do a quick spot clean just to maintain it. And like a listener mentioned before, she had just learned that you could take the covers off of her actual couch, which my current couch, you can take the covers off and wash them. So it's not good to do that every, super often because it will tear up your couch, but it's good to do every once in a blue moon if you do need to do that. It's a good way to refresh your couch if your couch does do that and make it look really nice and brand new.
Yes, definitely have a spot cleaner handy. My thing is when I vacuum, that's when I'm staring at my carpet. And then right afterward, I'll go grab that spot cleaner and clean whichever spots. Obviously, I'm not finding as many spots as Jessica is because, again, different season of life. So with adults, you're probably, if you're in an adult household, you're probably not getting many spots on your carpet. But you might be getting crumbs on your couch. Maybe your spouse is eating chips on the couch and you need to go over it with a vacuum.
Yeah, and whatever phase of life you're in, I'm sure you do need to wipe down surfaces, especially surfaces that are being touched often, like remote controls, light switches, doorknobs. Do your windows need to be cleaned? I don't say that very often. Maybe your window sills are starting to gather dust and they need to be wiped down. I need to wipe mine down often. They collect a lot of dust, it seems, in a short amount of time. Ceiling fans also, I mentioned a hack before that you could use a pillowcase and like a wet rag and collect the dust so it's not like falling all over your house. But yeah, dust off things in your living area or wipe down surfaces that are often touched. Your TV, for instance, if you have a TV, your TV stand, tables, coffee tables, any area that's being touched. I like to use Clorox wipes for this, but you can use any item. And I mentioned before the baseboards, you can use those dryer sheets to get the dust off the top of those baseboards. So maybe your baseboards need to be cleaned as well.
Definitely. And she mentioned the Clorox wipes. I think the brand I usually get are the Lysol disinfecting wipes, but very similar product. And I tend to use those for dusting my windowsills and getting like little fingerprints off of my blinds. Kids will touch the blinds, and this isn't just my little grandbabies. This is like my 9-year-old, my 12-year-old. They'll be eating and touch the blinds or something because I find little, dirty spots.
Those little wet wipes also are good for just getting off dust, even if you don't have fingerprints. I say Clorox wipes, but I use the generic but lemon scent because the generics have like a funky scent to them, I find. So I like using the lemon scent generics, and they're super cheap.
Yeah, I think some people like dry dusting. I'm really not one of them. I like to use something wet.
Yeah, I'm the same.
There's another lady, cleaning guru, Fly Lady. I don't consider myself a cleaning guru, but she is, I guess. But Fly Lady is really big on like a feather duster. I do own feather dusters, but I tend to give them to the kids. Kids like working with them. It's definitely something your toddlers can help you with, dry dusting with a feather duster. I'm personally not into it. Just my opinion is you're kind of moving the dust around, whereas with something damp, you're actually like picking up the dust, throwing it away or, so.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like using the wet wipes as well to dust or just a wet rag. So we're going to go ahead and move on to your bathroom areas. I don't know how many bathrooms you have. If you have older teenagers or children that are able to clean their guest bathroom or etc., it would be a good time to delegate that right now while you're cleaning your bathroom. Or if you clean all your bathrooms, that's fine. You can pause me, rewind me, whatever you need to do to clean all of your bathrooms today. Okay, so first of all, I like to get any dirty laundry out of the bathrooms. I like to keep a laundry basket in my bathroom, so I like to move that into the laundry area during this time before I get started. Or if there's any laundry on the floor or towels that need to be washed, just move everything into your laundry area where it could be easily seen and easily gotten to when it's time to do the laundry. And then get anything that's in your bathroom that isn't supposed to be in there and put it away where it goes. Or if you just have a lot of clutter on your sinks and bathroom counter areas, just put them away. The goal is, like she stated in the kitchen time, just to get the most surface area showing as possible so it's easy to wipe down.
Yes, in my guest bathroom, I have a couple of items, actually 3 items. I have a little glass that serves as a toothbrush holder. One of the reasons I don't always buy a dedicated toothbrush holder, and you're going to be moving all this stuff aside so you can clean. One of the reasons I don't always buy it is sometimes like those battery operated toothbrushes are too wide to fit through the holes and stuff. So I tend to use a glass. The other thing I have is
That's
a little...
That's weird. I have that too.
Yeah.
I don't have an actual toothbrush holder. That's funny.
Okay. The other thing is like my little, I'll have like a little bowl. I have a pretty bowl. I consider it pretty. Is it pretty?
Yeah, I like that actually. I think I'm going to implement that in my bathroom.
I like to put like cute little guest soaps in there. And I mean, I treat Jessica like family, but like if my mom's coming, I'll put some really cute stuff in that bowl. You know what I mean? And it's just, it could be like little travel shampoos. It could be like a little shower cap that you picked up at the hotel that's in a little package, a little bath bomb or something. It's just really cute. And let's face it, it's a place when you're cleaning the bathroom in a hurry. There's a random pair of tweezers on the kids' bathroom countertop. I'll stick it in that bowl because you want to just kind of get everything contained. I also have a little wire basket for their hairbrushes.
Yeah, especially it's good to have a little area that's kind of a little tiny catch-all. If you have stepchildren or older teenagers that will complain if you lose their eyelash curler, tweezers, or whatever.
Right. Maybe a pair of earrings that the girls left behind or something.
Because they're going to be like, where is that? And then if you stuff it somewhere, you're never going to be able to find it again. So,
right.
If you're like us and you have like teenagers or stepdaughters or something like that, it's good to have. My version of that is I have a little dish that I put, it's inside of my cabinet instead of on a bowl, but I have a little container that I put hair ties or random stepdaughter items in, earrings, hairpins, just little girly hair stuff because I have all girls. And I put all of their items in this little dish, and Joey does too, my husband. That way, there's no question if they leave anything in the bathroom, that's where it is when they come back.
I'll inject something here, and then we'll move on to more details about cleaning your bathroom. My 18-year-old daughter lives somewhere else now, but spends the night a lot, and she has more than just a few little items like that. She will bring in a bunch of stuff, leave it, she'll get ready, go out, leave a bunch of stuff. So I also have little boxes under my bathroom sink, and I know you don't have as much storage in your bathroom for this, but I will transfer it into her box, and I've told my 12-year-old daughter, like, put her stuff in a box under the sink, and then I've trained her, like, when she comes to check there for her stuff.
Yeah, and I like that too, and it's good to have a special place for each, in particular, different person's items, whether it's a husband and a wife or, whatever situation you have at your house, mother, grandpa, whatever, kid, teenager. It's good to have different, little containers for different people, and it's better to keeping the bathroom more organized, and less people are going to be angry and less things are going to be lost as well. But moving on, be wiping down your countertops, your, after you've cleared everything, wipe down any toothpaste splatter, your mirrors. Once you're done with your countertops and your mirrors, move on to your toilet. The parts of your toilet. I like to use the Clorox wipes for this too. Parts of your toilet that you touch first, handles, lids, and then move on to, especially if you're using one rag for your entire toilet, but I like to throw them away for the, funkier parts. I like to wear gloves for this part because it helps me dig in deeper. That sounds weird, but it helps me really get in there and clean, the back of the toilet, the behind, underneath, the floor behind your toilet. Don't neglect those parts.
Hey, if you're not wearing your COVID mask in public anymore, a great use of it is to put it on when you're cleaning the toilet. That's another thing that allows you to dig a little deeper. Am I right?
It'll make you get a little braver when you're cleaning. And I mentioned before, you can just snap the lid off and get a really nice deep clean on the back of your toilet, because it's good to do that every once in a while, because you can't always get to every single little tiny part, and it makes it just a lot simpler to clean.
Okay, at this point, Jessica was going to mention something about putting bleach in the toilet bowl.
I use a squirtable toilet bowl cleaner. You guys know she uses Comet.
Yeah. I do. I do use that sometimes, but right now I have the Comet. When I'm trying to be frugal, it's like I get a Comet or Ajax, sprinkle that in, and then the brush that I use has kind of a little finger on it to get up under the rim.
Yeah, see, I'm frugal in some areas, but on my toilet, I love that toilet bowl cleaner, and I can't give it up. So.
Yeah, it's handy that it has the neck that squirts up under the rim. One way or another, you've got to get up there, okay? Whether it's by hand or whatever.
Because it will get bad eventually.
If you're doing it with just a brush, let's face it, at some point, you're going to need to put on a glove and get up there by hand.
Yeah, and I like what you were saying. You had a what to clean it with? Because I just use wipes or a rag.
The pumice stone?
Oh, I don't have that.
Okay, that's an added step. That's after you've cleaned, your toilet seat, behind the seat, all of the exterior parts of the toilet, and you've scrubbed out the bowl. If there's still a ring there, that's not dirt, that's not funk, it's a hard water stain.
Oh, okay. And
so it's regional though. Like you may be thinking like, oh, when I clean it with the toilet bowl cleaner, there's no ring. Here there is. Even a lady that's a professional cleaner at my husband's office uses a pumice stone, because before he was off work, she would ask him to buy certain supplies. That was one of the things on the list. I had to show him what it is.
See, that's why I like this show. I learn every time. So I'm going to start using a pumice stone also. And moving on quickly, before we talk about floors, I'm just going to talk quickly about the shower. I maintain it using my scrub brush and my hard water cleaner or Clorox or whatever it is I'm using at the time inside of my sponge with a dispensable the dispensable sponge. I keep that in my restroom. After I'm done showering, I will do a quick wipe down of my shower. So I keep that, dispensable sponge situation in my shower for after I take showers, and then to keep up with it. But if you're not keeping up with it and you just, it's something you do maybe once a week or once every couple weeks or however you do it, you might have some hard water. So, like I mentioned before, you can get a little Ziploc bag, fill it up with vinegar, get a hair tie, and kind of tie it onto the nozzles of your shower head and your faucets, and let it sit there for a good amount of time. They also have other products for this. Just if you're a naturalist, vinegar is great for it. Otherwise, use some kind of hard water, cleanser, and let it really sit on there nice and good, especially if you have buildup. And don't ever mix bleach and those other products. You're not supposed to mix the two, ammonia and bleach.
Yeah, especially don't mix two different. We talked about like a commercial toilet bowl cleaner. Don't mix two different ones. I made that mistake. Oh. And one of them was supposed to be kind of natural, one wasn't, and I was kind of at the end of the bottle on both of them. I mixed them, and all of a sudden I had just a terrible feeling, and I'm pretty sure I had mixed ammonia and bleach. I ran out of the bathroom.
Yeah, if you're not sure, don't mix them.
I had to run back in and flush it with my breath held.
Yikes, yes. Stick with the same cleaner. For sure, especially if you're cleaning the restroom or just the tub, make sure you're keeping one basic, product for at a time and fully clean it out before you're.
I feel like it's more dangerous when you're pouring things into a toilet bowl than just, a little bit of spray mist or something.
Especially when you're cleaning the toilet.
Quick tip for the floor. I do this literally almost every time with my guest bathroom because it's a small bathroom. So maybe you have just one bathroom and it's small, or maybe just, no matter who you are, probably at least one of your bathrooms is small, I would say. You might have a half bath or something. But our guest bathroom is small as far as the floor area. So what I like to do is get the Swiffer pre-moistened pads and just take them by hand and wipe the floor. I do it as if I were wiping the countertop, where I'm kind of grabbing up any debris.
Yeah, I do that with my bathroom floor as well because it's a small surface area. And, for small areas, it's really good because you have the toilet and stuff you got to work around. So it's good to be doing that just to get more of a deep clean.
Yes, be cleaning your bathroom floor, but I emphasize a small bathroom because I wouldn't dream of doing that in my master bathroom that has kind of a substantial area of floor in front of like the dual sinks. It's just too much space. But definitely in the room that I call the toilet stall. You know how sometimes in your bathroom, like in your master bathroom, there's that separate little cubicle for going to the bathroom or whatever? Yeah. At my house, I call it the toilet stall. That's where I do take that pre-moistened. And you could do it with like Clorox wipes or Lysol wipes, whatever brand of wipes also. But this thing is bigger, it's wetter, and it's just faster. That Swiffer pad thing. That. And obviously you could mop. Obviously you could mop the large area with the actual Swiffer, but we're talking about getting those baseboards
really close to the grout,
getting along the bathtub, getting around the toilet, and it leaves just an amazing fresh scent.
And before we close out the bathrooms, I don't think I remembered to tell you to take out your kitchen trash. So before you're finishing with your bathrooms, make sure you're taking out your bathroom trashes if they need to be taken out. And maybe take them to your kitchen trashes, put them inside, and then take that out at the same time, since I forgot to tell you that. If you haven't already, maybe you already remembered to do that. But make sure you're taking out all your trashes at the end of the bathroom segment.
This is really gross, but I'm going to say it anyway. If your dog gets into the bathroom trash and there are feminine products in the trash, okay, I recommend getting the little trash cans with a lid where you can kind of step on that little foot pedal and then the lid comes up.
I don't have the dog problem, but I have a toddler problem. So I also have a large bathroom trash with a lid. And I found it, I think I got it at Walmart, and it was pretty cheap, but it's a pretty large one. Because I throw diapers in there too sometimes.
I think I need to upgrade to a larger one because I find myself emptying that a lot just with 5 people in the house, sometimes 6.
I have a large one because when the kids take baths, they take off their diapers, or my little one takes off her diaper, and we throw it in the trash. And we take it out daily. It's not large, but it's bigger than a normal wastebasket would be just because we have a lot of trash.
And same goes with the kitchen. If your pets are getting in the trash, you might need a lid. Our kitchen trash is tall enough that the dogs don't really mess with it, but they do get in the bathroom trash.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the bedrooms now. We're just going to do a really quick pickup of the bedroom. Whatever bedroom you're in charge of, delegate if there's other people in your house right now that you can delegate to. If not, go ahead and just make your bed, freshen up your bedroom, put everything away that doesn't belong. Clear the counters. If you have dirty laundry, move that to your laundry area. And if you need to wash your bedding, you can take it off and put it in the laundry area. Make sure that's a priority or in a place where you're going to make it a priority. And just put everything where it belongs and in its place.
Yep, definitely. And while we're in the bedroom, I'll talk about residual clean laundry. Jessica kind of caught me with a large clean laundry pile. But remember I said I'm taking a full load of college right now? And I've told you guys before that I write I had some writing projects to do this week. I'm taking a sabbatical from my writing, though, but yeah, as of the last couple of days, as of yesterday, I was writing and doing school, so it was kind of a lot. And I have company right now, so spending time with the grandbabies and whatnot. So my dark secret in my room was a large residual laundry pile, but this morning I had to tell her the disclaimer, like it's usually not like that.
Because that's the one thing that I don't do anymore and I'm actually good about.
Right.
For some reason is keeping up with laundry.
Jessica doesn't struggle in that area, but disclaimer, we've been keeping up on it. It's just my husband and I both have been interacting with the grandkids instead of folding and putting away our laundry.
Yeah, I hate dishes, love laundry, so nobody has to tell me to do the laundry.
But I recommend multitasking if you hate folding clothes. What I did earlier was I have to do reading for my school, and the textbooks are online, and I can click a button and have the computer read it to me. While I was listening to that, I was folding the laundry, and so that got me almost caught up. Of course, there are socks. Unclaimed socks, mismatched unclaimed socks.
And for that,
the bottom of the chest.
What I do for unclaimed socks is we have a box that we keep in the laundry area, and we put all unmatched socks that come about, and we put them in there, and then about once a month or once every few weeks, we'll go through it and match up pairs because we lose a lot of socks. So, I don't know, that might be a good idea for you. That's something I do.
Good idea. What I kind of do is I will call on one of my kids like, hey, go through these socks, because it's really confusing with a teenage girl and then a 12-year-old girl, like, to know whose socks are whose. So I'll be like, come get all of your socks out of here, and then that narrows it down, and then I know the rest of the socks belong to my other daughter who doesn't live here full time.
Yeah, and they always expect you to know whose socks are who. Like, Mom, those are my socks. Like, okay, how am I supposed to know, whose socks are whose? So that's a good idea. And also something that she did was she just had everybody in the household get their own laundry and, take care of their own laundry. Get everything out of this laundry that's yours and put it away, because she's still doing the little one's laundry.
Right. Before I even started folding, I announced a laundry blitz. They know what that means. You know me with my little terms that I coin. But my 12-year-old daughter and 9-year-old son needed to come in and just pull all of their clothes out of that pile, fold their own stuff, and put it away. Kids are more than willing to deal with their own stuff. If you're like, hey, get me caught up on laundry, they're not too excited about that. I mean, I've been known to have them do that, but they don't really want to do all that. So if I say laundry blitz, I don't really get any eye rolls or, irritated faces, because it's their own stuff and they're kind of looking forward to getting their clean clothes back into their bedroom. And then, of course, my 14-year-old son does his own laundry separately.
Yeah, I liked that. And also, just one of the things that I do when I do laundry, I mentioned it's one of the things I'm good at. So I noticed that, like with my own clothing, if I separate, instead of just doing family piles, like mom's pile, dad's pile, kid's pile, whatever, I separate my piles a little bit better, and I do, shirts, pants, especially, that's not possible if you're, have a huge pile or anything, but if you're just folding them as they come out and you fold them in, better piles like that and separate them while you're folding, you're more likely to keep your clothes more organized, because I'm kind of, like I said, I'm not very good at organization. So I found that if during the folding process, I'm separating things and folding them and organizing them like that, then when I'm putting them away, I don't get lazy and just shove things into a drawer.
Yeah, and I think we're almost out of time, but speaking of staying organized during the folding process, another thing that I do, I typically sit on the floor to fold laundry, and then if there's something that I'm for sure hanging up, that belongs to me or my husband, I drape that over the footboard of my bed rather than fold it. I mean, I don't want to fold it and then unfold it to hang it up. And I've seen someone else doing a thing where she kept hangers right there and put things directly onto hangers while she folded. So that's another thing.
I lay things out that are being hung up on my couch, and then I come and bring my hangers out to the living area, put them on the hangers, and then bring them to the bedroom. That's how I do it.
Definitely with folding laundry, everyone does things differently as far as how much of their clothing is stored in drawers versus hanging up. I typically hang up my dressier outfits. Like I tell the kids, hang up your school uniforms, your church clothes. I hang up just my dressy stuff, and then just my casual stuff, jeans, t-shirts, whatever, I just stick in the drawers.
And I'm more lazy. I'm not doing schoolwork when I'm doing laundry. I'm watching Netflix. I'm already doing one productive thing. I don't need to be doing two, so. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and close this episode. Thank you so much, Raani, for joining us, Mom. And before we go, if you need to do go ahead and switch your laundry now, fold your laundry since we're talking about it, and also before you sit down though and do your laundry, and if you still need to do your floors, do a pickup, sweep, vacuum of your house, and make sure if you haven't gotten to the trash, you're taking your trash out, and if you still have more energy and you're still down to clean, which more power to you, restart the episode or start another one. Thank you guys so much, and as always, happy cleaning.
Happy cleaning.